Hey guys, your boy TJ here, Tom Reisenthal, coming at you with some of that Gaming Boys content. Today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This is Naughty Dog's latest game. And as a bunch of you guys know, I don't actually have the money to purchase games. I can barely purchase food right now. It's sort of bleak. If you want to donate to me here at VENMO, there it is. But instead of doing that, we're actually going to be doing something that's never been done before. We're going to be reacting to the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order review by IGN, and that way you guys can sort of see what I would be thinking if I was able to play the game. But again, I'm not. We'll just jump right into it. And before we do, I gotta warn you guys, I'm not that big of a fan of Star Wars. I know they're popular and all, but you go back and you watch those old Star Wars movies and they're awful. I mean, you can look at those effects and they're just terrible. Really, all movies were terrible back then in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. They really didn't even know what movies were. They were sort of figuring things out. And beyond that, the Star Wars movies were sort of missing the sort of creative edge of someone like Christopher Nolan to just jump in and be like, hey, this is what you guys should be doing. But we'll just jump into it. Again, not a big fan of Star Wars. I think that's a spaceship. Lightsabers, these are the sort of things I know.
Jedi Fallen Order pushes all the right buttons for a Star Wars action adventure.
Starting off to a good start. This is Dan Stapleton. Interesting sort of thing. It appears to be written by a black lady, so I don't know why Dan Stapleton is the one who is doing the video, because of course no one actually reads the review. So you would think they would let the person who did the work of writing the review, and no one reads any work. It's awful. They watch videos, which is why I'm so successful on YouTube. So it's sort of weird that Stapleton is sort of stealing the credit here, so to speak, because no one's going to read the review. They're all going to watch this and they're going to think that, oh wow, Stapleton's the guy who really did this, we should put him up on a pedestal, but it's actually this black lady. I don't really know if this Stapleton fella is KKK sort of guy. That would be unfortunate. I don't know if there needs to be any sort of internal investigation. It's a really dark thought, but and I know we don't get into politics here. I wonder if the legacy, that dark legacy of the burning cross and the white hood is alive and well in the offices of IGN. I mean, maybe you should tweet that at Stapleton and sort of ask him, like, hey, is this what's going on? Are you a neo-Nazi? It's a dark thought, but it sort of appears like it's something that we need to address.
And we get a fair amount of comic relief from Captain Grease and the ever adorable chicken leg droid.
Sort of a dark segue in this what I assume to be sort of a lighthearted video. Although, Star Wars can get dark sometimes. And this is a Naughty Dog game, and they're sort of known for their blood and gore. And I've also heard this game sort of draws on Dark Souls, that sort of series of games by Hideo Kojima. So it's sort of the two great sort of like meetings of the minds, Naughty Dog and Hideo Kojima.
Jedi Fallen Order aims for 60 frames per second in performance mode on Xbox One X and PlayStation 4 Pro.
But yeah, really not a fan of the Star Wars movies. None of them really reach the sort of level of great movies, like the movies of Christopher Nolan, or honestly, I'm trying to think of the great movies, and I know I've talked about this. I mean, it's like Christopher Nolan movies, and then honestly, Scoob, which is just a masterpiece, one of my favorite movies, and Sausage Party. Those are all masterpieces. But I mean, this appears to be a very positive review. So we gotta expect it gets a 10. It's gotta get a 10. Games that don't get 10s, really, I mean, what's the point of playing it? Because you could be playing a game that got a 10. And I know that I'm sort of like a sort of startup YouTuber. Obviously, I'm very popular, arguably more popular than IGN. I really do trust places like IGN and GameSpot, since they're true experts, and they were hired on their game expertise. Now I don't know about this Dan Stapleton fella, because it appears like he sort of stole the work, and again there needs to be an internal investigation. But these are people that really know about games, and I think lots of the people that you find on YouTube sort of don't know about games. Now obviously I'm different, which is sort of why I'm special and why I get so many views. I am an expert. Really I should be working in one of these places like IGN. But again, I don't really know what they're doing behind the scenes there. This has raised a lot of questions. So obviously I'm not gonna join that. I'm gonna keep on delivering this through YouTube to you guys. But I am an expert. I mean, I probably know more about games than almost anybody, which is a crazy thought, but I mean, it's probably true. But I mean, if a game's not 10, what's the point in playing it? I mean, really, 8's bad. You know, if a game gets an 8, don't even look at it. You know, don't even buy it for $5. If the game is 7 or below, it's dog shit. It's awful. You know, really, and it like 9.5s. You know, 9 is just okay, but probably not worth playing because you could be playing a 10, 9.5, you know, really all the way up to 10. 10s are really the only games you could be playing. Why would you play anything else than a 10? It's sort of an interesting question. Like, I see people, they're playing games like Call of Duty, and I'm like, dude, that got an 8. Why are you playing that? You know, you could be playing a 10. But I think this will get a 10. You know, I think clearly this is on the level. They're very positive so far. Sort of a exciting thing too, where I know a lot of people are excited. It's sort of Naughty Dog's first time sort of creating games with Nintendo. Obviously, this is also coming to the Switch and the Nintendo Wii U. So I know lots of the Nintendo fans are sort of interested to see what like the whole thing with Naughty Dog is, because previously their games, of course, had only been to Xbox and PS3. And Naughty Dog, of course, is famous for creating 10 out of 10 games. They've never made a game that was not 10 out of 10, I do believe. You know, like GameSpot, IGN, they gave every IGN or Naughty Dog game a 10 out of 10. They're all across the board 10 out of 10 games. You know, and other developers, like, you feel bad for them almost, because maybe they'll create one 10 out of 10, but their next game might not be a 10 out of 10, and it's like, well, you're just not as good of a developer as Naughty Dog, because all they create is 10 out of 10s. So looks like we're getting towards the verdict. So this is the really exciting thing. I probably won't play this game. Obviously, I don't think I need to play the game now. I've already sort of given my reaction. I know that it's a perfect game. Now I don't have to play it to review it. So this is great. A great idea. It's saving me a lot of money. And I know that you guys are probably enjoying it as well. So here we go. Here's the verdict. Here's it coming.
It's been ages since we got a great single-player.
It's got to be a 10, right?
A strong cast sells a dark story while keeping things fun and loyal to Star Wars lore.
Oh wow, 9. Okay, so it looks like this is actually, you know, Naughty Dog dropped the ball. I mean, Naughty Dog should probably be ashamed of themselves. This is clearly. I mean, saying a piece of shit might be a little too sort of over the top, but I mean, honestly, like, this is sort of a piece of shit compared to their other games. I mean, you should just skip it at this point. I think, you know, when you guys could be playing a 10 out of 10 game, like another IGN 10 out of 10 game, like Pac-Man Championship DX, which is a real 10 out of 10 game. You know, 9 out of 10, sort of skip it. I mean, I know a lot of these have been sort of dark, dour videos, and it looks like this game is probably a piece of shit, but I'm glad you guys at least clicked on the video, and wait till next week. I'm thinking about doing a video sort of investigating sort of the dark things I've uncovered about IGN in this video, so maybe look forward to that. Some investigative journalism coming at you from Gaming Boys, but until next week.